What is up, everyone? I'm ATRon The Gamer, and welcome to episode 1 of Initial Impressions of How to Play a Wizard in Diablo 3. So I'm level 25, and today is the second day after the Diablo 3 launch. So let's go ahead and get into a game here. But basically, in episodes like this, I kind of want to just briefly touch on how I feel a wizard is most effectively played, or at least from what I've seen thus far. I'm going to go over some of these skills really quickly here. So because I'm level 25, I do have Meteor now. And the skills that I have out right now, I would pretty much argue, maybe with the exception of this skill here with the Explosive Blast and the Mirror Image, I would pretty much argue that these seem to be some of the best skills for AoEing targets down, probably even for soloing as well. So I chose the Ice Armor over the other two because or other three actually. Well, the Storm Armor, it does give damage off, so that's nice. But the magic weapon doesn't really seem to be that effective for me specifically because I'm not really using a weapon at all. I'm not using my wand. And the Familiar, it is nice for the extra damage. I would use either the Ice Armor or the Familiar in this situation. Like it seems. I mean, I probably want to test out the Storm Armor and the magic weapon more, but I've felt that the Ice Armor and the Familiar seem to be the most effective in this slot thus far. As far as the defensive skills go, Teleport is really nice, but because I'm so low level, the cooldown is ridiculous. 16 seconds. I mean, I only get one Teleport every 16 seconds. It's kind of absurd. So I pretty much use Frost Nova because you can only have one of these skills at a time, and it seems to be the most effective skill, especially when it comes to AoE and a bunch of enemies down. Like I said, I just hit 25, so I do have Meteor now, and I mean, Wave of Force is pretty nice as well. It's almost like, I would almost consider it like to be like Frost Nova, and that like if enemies are around you, it's a way to get enemies off of you, or away from the enemies anyway. The Twister seems nice for AoE too, but it seems to be pretty ineffective as far as like accuracy goes. I mean, it has a chance to definitely sit on top of an enemy, but that doesn't always seem to be the case. And the Hydras are pretty nice, but I do believe the Meteor does more damage than the Hydras do. So, plus I just kind of wanted to use a Meteor. It's a little more fun to use. Disintegrate. Well, the Arcane Orb and the Arcane Torrent, I don't believe hit multiple targets, or neither does the Ray of Frost, I don't think. But the Disintegrate does. These might be able to with runes, but I'm not completely certain. But yes, the Disintegrate pierces through all enemies, and yeah, makes it great for taking multiple things down at the same time. But if you want to use a beam that does probably more damage on a single target, like a boss or something, I would definitely go with Ray of Frost and use like the Snow Blast. That seems to be really good, if you ask me. I've used it to burn down like some of the bigger enemies, which you can check out in my playthrough with my friends that I'm uploading videos of on a regular basis right now. But yes, so the Disintegrate definitely seems to be the way to go when it comes to killing multiple enemies, and Electrocute basically seems to be the same, or basically seems to be the case for the primary skill set as well. So, let's look at the passive skills really quick, and then we'll jump into some action. So far I have Blur, Power Hungry, Evocation, Glass Cannon, Prodigy, and Astral Presence. I'm using Glass Cannon and Prodigy right now. Glass Cannon because it increases all my damage by 15%. I do lose armor and resistance by 10%, but I haven't really felt that to be that much of a deficit to me, I suppose. Basically, I mean, yeah, I probably will take more damage, but just try to avoid being hit. So that's just the way that goes. And like to kill things faster too. So that's the trade-off. Prodigy, I did choose this because Electrocute will give me Arcane Power back, so it'll allow me to cast Disintegrate or anything else at a faster rate if when I am out of Arcane Power. I can get my Arcane Power back more quickly if I have Prodigy active. Astral Presence could also be effective in this situation just because well, I mean, your Arcane Power regeneration is increased, as well as the maximum amount of Arcane Power is also increased. But I kind of feel like Prodigy is a little bit more effective in regenerating your Arcane Power as it's basically going to be depleted to 0 is what I've noticed. Like, I don't have very much, only got 104. It's not a lot at all. It's only like 4 extra than like what the base is, I think, so it's kind of weak, but yeah. So for now, I feel Prodigy is more effective, but that could change down the line. And that's actually something I'd like else to do with these episodes, is as I progress through the game, I want to update these how-tos for the wizard, just to see what, or just to post what I feel like is the most effective way to play them, or, yeah. So, Blur obviously decreases melee damage taken, so not really looking for that. Not really looking to gain 30 arcane power whenever I healed by a health globe, because it's dependent on health globes. Evocation seems nice, 15% on all cooldowns, but I just feel like these two runes, passive runes, seem to be the most effective right now. So, anyway, I'm using these, and let's close this up, and let's go down into the flooded causeway. Catching some lag here right now. There we go. Okay. Nice. Alright, so let's put the ice armor up. And there should be some enemies down here. Take a look. Might all be dead, I'm not really sure. No, definitely not. Okay. So, one of the best things I feel to do is, I mean, if you're kind of running around, is to, well, see, you can see the ice armor snaring these guys, just because they're near me, and that's kind of why I like the rune. But just running away from them, and then you can get the Frost Nova off. Meteor, well, that's because I'm level 25, so that's pretty nice. The Frost Nova holds them in place long enough for the Meteor to actually hit them, so that's pretty effective. It also helps, like I said, with slowing them down from them being around me. Let's get a couple more on me, and then we'll look to kill some mobs. Okay, good, they're following me. I was hoping so. Okay, so let's get some of these guys. Okay, now let's do this. So now let's use the Disintegrate. So as you can see, it pretty much, if you line it up, you can actually, if you set yourself in the proper position, you can line up Disintegrate to blast through all of your enemies. So that's pretty effective. And then of course when you don't have arcane power, which I do right now, you can use Electrocute as a substitute for your AoE, which is why I'm using Electrocute. And I have the rune that allows me to hit multiple targets, so I was able to hit all 5 right there, I believe. A little bit of lag here, but it shouldn't last very long. Okay, so get rid of some of that debris, and we'll move down here now. Let's take a look at the mirror images and see how that goes. 'Cause I haven't really tested this out. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so I'm basically followed around by 2 images, and they don't last very long. But yes, so once again, it seems like the Disintegrate seems to be really great for AoEing these things like this down, and then Electrocute, of course, to get your arcane power back, as well as just doing damage. But that's pretty much going to do it for the first episode, so hope you guys learned something from this. If not, well, that's okay too. But if you have any comments, please leave them in the lower section of this video. And I hope to see everyone here next time for episode 2, where I will probably be of a higher level and have more skills, more runes, and hopefully more information. But until then, later everyone.